Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Majid, and even though you and I have probably never met, there's a common goal that we all share, and that is to be able to take care of ourselves, our family, and our loved ones. To be able to create a life for ourselves where we have options, whether that's to travel the world, whether that's to work from anywhere in the world, and basically live on our own terms. And now chances are, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that, like myself years ago, you are relying on a 9-to-5 job to take care of yourself and your family. And you probably are spending more time at work with your colleagues than you actually do with your own loved ones and your family. But deep down, you know that there is more to life. And I know this because I was there just a few years ago, but I found a way out when I started my online halal business that actually falls within Islamic guidelines. Now, just to be clear, this business isn't about a get-rich-quick scheme. And quite frankly, if that's what you're looking for, then I would recommend you just click away from this video. Because what I'm about to share with you in this video is how to actually build a halal online business that is sustainable and that will serve you and your family for many years to come. And I'm not going to go ahead and bore you with other businesses that you probably have heard online, such as dropshipping, Amazon FBA, buying courses, selling courses, crypto. No, that's not what we're going to talk about here. What I'm going to share with you in this video is the #1 beginner-friendly halal online business that myself and thousands of others across the world have created that gives us location freedom, time freedom, as well as the freedom of choice. So I implore you to please block off the next 1 hour. Pay close attention to this video because the time to get into this multi-billion-dollar industry is right now more than ever. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and inshallah, I'll see you in the training. Now, my promise to you is that this is not going to be just another webinar, like probably something that you've seen in the past. I promise to not just provide you with general information to then simply go ahead and tell you, go buy my course. Rather, what I'm going to explain to you in this video is an industry that is set to hit $1 trillion by 2023. And it's something that every single business needs, whether they are big or whether they are small. Now, I do want to make an agreement with you, and that is at the very end of the video, once I have given you all the details on exactly how this business works and how you can make it a reality for yourself, then only then will I go ahead and show you how you and I can work together if you still need more help. So I hope we have a deal. Inshallah, let's go ahead and get started. So how to start a halal online business in 2024. And not just any business, I'm talking about the best beginner-friendly halal online business. Now, before I actually go ahead and dive into the weeds of how all of this works, I need to go ahead and give you guys a timeline of my journey as an online business owner. And I want to do this, that way you understand exactly who I am and, quite frankly, why you should even listen to me. So this is me right here. My name is Majid. I go by MJ. I am from Yemen, and I've been running an agency for 6 years now. Since 2018 is when I first started my first agency. Between now and then, I've spent over $50,000 on courses, mentorships, masterminds, consulting. And at the time of recording this video, I'm currently running 2 agencies that generate me anywhere between 70 all the way to 100K a month. Now, like probably some of you guys, I've tried multiple types of businesses, including dropshipping, Amazon FBA, print on demand. This is a video that I found saved in my Snapchat memories, and as you can see here, I was dropshipping these abayat, which is Islamic dresses like for Muslim women. I was dropshipping these from China, and although it was great, I was able to scale it to over $20,000 a month. The margins were very horrible. Margins were like around 10%. So after doing all of that, I was only taking home $2,000. Same thing with print on demand, same thing with Amazon FBA. I failed horribly because these are not the best models for beginners to start. So I left all of those businesses to start my first agency, which was an SEO agency that we incorporated in December 2018. So we were an SEO agency, but the thing is we were offering everything and anything to everyone who was willing to work with us. This was one of our clients, Ina Rubinchik, who is a luxury real estate agent in the city of San Francisco. And even though we were doing SEO, we bought a camera like you see here. We bought a gimbal. We were shooting videos. We were doing all of these things, working with anyone and everyone who was willing to work with us. Fast forward to March 2020, about 2 years running this business, I lost all my clients within 7 days. I also lost my side job as an Uber driver due to non-demand. So the clients we were working with were local, and in the city of San Francisco was one of the first cities to go into lockdown, and all of these clients didn't need my service no more because everything was shut down. It was so bad to the point where even Masjid al-Haram closed down for the first time since 638 AD when Prophet Ibrahim and his son Prophet Ismail built the mosque. So since then, never has Masjid al-Haram been closed. This was the very first time that it was closed. So not only did it affect this, but it affected everybody across the world. I'm sure it affected you watching this video. So what I did next was I moved to my sister's house in Michigan. I landed a job as a marketing coordinator at IPSI US, which is a nonprofit organization, and I was getting paid $6,000 a month, as you can see here in my W-2, which was great, right? But I knew that I was called for more. So I quit this job after 6 months later to pursue my dream of building a successful agency. So in late November 2020, I moved to Egypt with the few thousands of dollars that I had in my pocket. And my objective was to get this agency thing another shot. This time with 2 years of knowledge that I had accumulated with my first agency. The only difference was that I was actually going to go ahead and niche down and work exclusively with Muslim/Arab brands. Within the first 30 days of landing in Cairo, all I did was pitch prospects. 30 days, I was just pitching prospects my services. And after 30 days, I landed my first client who agreed to pay me $1,800 to run their paid ads. This was a modest fashion brand, and I figured since I already had my own modest fashion brand, why not go ahead and pitch these brands? And thank God I landed one after 30 days who agreed to pay me $1,800. 2 weeks later, I landed my second client, which put me at around $3,250 a month in revenue. Forward to May 2021, I bought Iman Gaji's course. If you guys don't know who Iman Gaji, he's one of the main guys in the SMA space that sells courses. Now, I didn't buy because I needed information. The reason that I bought was because I wanted to be part of a community who all had the same goals as me, which is to build a successful agency. Because you see, in Egypt, very little people spoke English, let alone wanted to start an agency. So I needed to be part of a community, which is the very reason why I joined Iman Gaji's program. Forward to 2022, we scaled SF Analytica, my paid ads agency, to $115,000 a month. Now, this was the moment that I thank God for keeping me firm on my dreams of making this business a reality. Because now, after 4 years, from 2018 to 2022, I could finally say that I've quote unquote made it. Being able to work from the other side of the world, being able to have location freedom, financial freedom, and freedom of choice. And now I have clients that pay me anywhere from $5,000 all the way to $25,000 a month for my services. So this didn't happen overnight. This was 4 years in the making. But finally, I can say that I have cracked the code of making this agency thing a reality. Now, forward to January 2023, I wanted to go ahead and share my 5 years experience with others. So what I did was, like everybody else in the space, was I went ahead and I created a course and I sold it to 12 people. 3 months later, I refunded everyone and I closed it down because I realized that another course on the internet is not what people need. People don't need more information. Rather, what people needed was implementation. So again, 3 months later, I refunded all the 12 people and closed down the course. So after closing down the course, I moved to Las Vegas and I wanted to start on a new venture. Instead of providing people more information, I said, how can I put together a program that actually gives people all the value they need? Not watch YouTube videos, rather one-on-one consulting done with you program. So December 15th, I relaunched Agency Protocols, which was initially the course, as a done with you consulting program. And as you can see here, this is the building that I was living in, and that right there is my apartment. Here's another view from the 17th floor of my Las Vegas apartment. This was probably one of the best places that I've lived in because everything was there and I had a really amazing view. But really the whole idea of moving here was to go ahead and focus on building this new endeavor, this new consulting program. And the objective with this consulting program was to provide others with everything that they need to get their agency off the ground in the fastest way possible. And I was going to do this in the form of a consulting, not a course like every other guru who you probably see online pitching their courses. Now, alhamdulillah, within the first 3 months, we went ahead and signed 22 students and generated almost $200,000 in contracts. As you can see here, these are all the payments within the very first 90 days. And students started seeing results just within a few weeks of joining. Let me go ahead and show you guys some of these student results. Here's Deodric. He closed his first client 5 days after joining us, $9,000, $2K cost, $7K net. Deodric, again, as you can see here, he's booking 11 meetings so far, got 2 strategy calls. By the way, this guy is a 42-year-old. He's a 42-year-old who joined our program, and because we consulted him on exactly what he needs to do and how to do it rather than providing him a course, he started crushing it. Here's Ahmed. He's a Yemeni guy from Ireland. Quick update with his agency, 3 meetings booked since the start of the new year. Ahmed has been running his agency for 6 months and couldn't even land a single meeting. After joining us, he landed 3 meetings just at the start of the new year. Rebel right here booked 10 meetings in less than 1 week of running ads, in the process of potentially closing a few more clients. Here goes Rebel, officially closed 3 new clients at my agency, all on trial, 2 clients at $1,500 a month, 1 client at $2,000 a month. And just to give you guys context, Rebel joined our program 3 weeks and he was able to achieve this result. Diadric again, 3 meetings booked last week, 4 meetings booked this week, so far about to close 3 more meetings. Diadric is a lead gen agency and he charges people $500 per booked appointment. So you can imagine if he gets one of his clients 10 booked appointments, that's $500 for each booked appointment. So both of these guys are crushing it. Here's just some more case studies. Diadric signed his 3rd client. Rebel has a big win for one of his students, generated 2 out of 5 leads. Diadric again got this new customer 10 meetings booked. I will be at 8K MRR with 2 more clients. We'll be at 15K MRR. And again, Diadric joined us on December 20th and landed his first client on December 25th on the day of Christmas. Here's Relito, a short form content agency. He landed his first client just a few weeks after joining us. He was already running an agency and he just needed the actual help from a mentor, someone who's been there and has done that. And then here is Brandon, which is really crazy. So Brandon here says, I joined Agency Protocols and my agency launched within 2 weeks. By launched, I mean we were running ads for my agency, officially prospecting for clients. Since then, he says it's now been 3 weeks since I launched. Here are the major updates. He closed his first client in 1 week. He closed 4 more clients that same exact month. So within 3 weeks of running his ads and within 5 weeks of joining Agency Protocols, he was able to close 5 clients in total. And I believe he's charging his clients around $1,500 to $2,000. I actually spoke with him about 2 weeks before recording this specific video. And at that time, he told me that right now he has 9 clients. So really great, really crushing it. And keep in mind, this guy is working 12-hour day shifts as a car salesman. Here goes Ahmed again, 2 meetings booked from cold calling. And then Diadric, 4th customer signed. Started on the 20th of December, under 6 weeks. So you see, the reason these guys saw these results is because they didn't get a course. The reason they saw these results and are able to move fast is because they joined a mentorship program. They have someone like myself who can hold their hand and actually walk them through what they need to do. Now, enough about myself and these guys who have consulted that have gotten results. Let me go ahead and show you exactly how you can do the same. So let's start with what is SMMA. So short for social media marketing agency, the job of an SMMA owner is to help other businesses generate more sales or leads through social media. So to reiterate, the job of a social media marketing agency owner is to help businesses, whether that be online or local, generate either more sales or more leads through social media. Let's take a look at some examples. For example, if you are someone that needs your house cleaned, yeah, you can go ahead and do it yourself, or you can go ahead and have your niece or your nephew do it. But there's an option that you can hire a cleaning company, where a cleaning company will come in and clean the house on your behalf. Same thing if you are doing your taxes, okay? When you need your taxes done, yes, you can do it yourself, or what most people do is they go ahead and hire a tax firm to go ahead and do the taxes on their behalf. And next we have law. So let's say you get yourself into some legal trouble. Well, guess what? You can represent yourself in court. But what most people do is they hire a lawyer from a law firm to represent their client in court. So these same 3 examples applies to marketing. Businesses hire marketing agencies like you and I to do their advertising on their behalf. So here's what this would look like. You have the customer right here, and then what the customer does is they go ahead and hire someone like myself or you who's a marketing agency, and then what we do as marketing agencies, we go ahead and buy media. So we buy ads on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, so on and so forth. From these ads that we run on these platforms, we go ahead and generate our clients money or leads depending on what your objective is. And then from there, the money goes to the client, the client pays us, and it's an ongoing cycle. So the same exact process that I just showed you with those 3 is the same exact idea here. You have businesses that hire marketing agencies like you and I to do their advertising on their behalf. Now let's talk about, why do businesses need social media marketing? Well, you see, before social media, advertising was very expensive and it was only accessible to the biggest companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Toyota, so on and so forth. The medians, meaning the channels that a business can advertise on, were very limited, and they were things such as radio, television, billboards, billboards. All of this costs thousands and thousands of dollars for a business to advertise, and they're very broad rather than being very targeted. So you can see advertising before social media was only accessible to brands that have thousands and millions of dollars. It wasn't accessible to the mom and dad pop shops, the small business who just opened his doors and is trying to get his business off the ground. Now with social media, you see the playing field is even. And now both big and small businesses have many channels that they can advertise on. And it's not only accessible to companies with billions and millions of dollars. So the playing field now is even with the advance of social media. It's also much more cost effective, and businesses can get started in advertising the same day as little as $5 a day, rather than paying thousands and thousands of dollars for billboards or television. It's also more effective. Unlike billboards and radio and television where you advertise to the general public, with social media you can get really detailed on advertising and target people based on their interests, their demographics, and their psychographics. If you really think about it, the idea of making an ad, a billboard, and having it serve everybody who's driving on the highway is insane when you really think about it now, because not everybody's going to be interested in that thing. Same thing with radio, same thing with TV. You can't really get detailed targeting. With social media, you can get really detailed, and you can target people based on their interest, stuff that they like, based on their demographics, their age, their gender, so on and so forth, and based on their psychographics, which is essentially what moves them to actually take action. And the reason you can get very detailed and very targeted is thanks to all of the users that are on these platforms. If you take a look at this graph right here, this is social media platform users in the million. Facebook being the top, 2,958 million, YouTube 2,514 million, so on and so forth. So you see, social media has so many users, and these users are interacting with these platforms. So these platforms have so much data, which allows us advertisers and businesses to reach our specific audience. For example, Meta has over 5,000 data points on every single user on their platform. I mean, to be quite frank, I don't even know 100 things about myself, right? Ask yourself that same question. Like, do you know 5,000 things about yourself? Well, Meta understands 5,000 data points of every single user on their platform. And the same way that traditional advertising works, like I just showed you, is going to be the same way that social media works. The only difference is that you're going to be able to put your business, or in this case, we're going to be able to put other businesses in front of a specific audience, again, based on their interests, their demographics, and their psychographics. So now that you understand exactly what social media marketing is and how it works, let me go ahead and give you an example of brands that I'm working with that are using social media to reach their audience through these detailed targeting. The first person we have here is Abu Hithami, and he's the founder of Zaad Institute, and he's an information product that teaches Muslims how to read Arabic with the objective of learning proper tajweed. So if you are someone who wants to learn Arabic, or you're someone who already speaks Arabic but you don't know how to read tajweed properly, he has a program on exactly how he can teach you to achieve that. So let's go ahead and break this down. Who is his audience? Well, his audience is going to be Muslims who want to read Quranic Arabic and want to learn tajweed. Great, we identified the audience. So who do we go ahead and target? So the targeting is going to be people who fall under the category of Muslims but also are interested in learning Arabic and or tajweed. So that's the audience and the targeting. Well, how about the strategy? So with the strategy, we first need to understand exactly what our audience needs. In this case, what motivates people to want to learn Arabic or learn tajweed? Once he understands that, we go ahead and craft a compelling video and image and copy to address these desires and go over how the specific product can help them achieve that. So once the prospect sees this ad, they show an interest, they take action, and then they go ahead and buy his product or service. So this is an example of Zaad Institute and how we're using social media to reach his audience to go ahead and sell them on his service, which in this case is teaching them how to read Quranic Arabic and how to understand and read the Quran properly with tajweed the way that it was intended. Let's take a look at another example. This is Nominal. It's an e-commerce brand. Now, I don't work with this brand in particular, but I did want to show you guys this as an example. So this is an e-commerce brand that sells Arabic/Islamic style jewelry. So their audience is going to be Arabs or Muslims or really anybody, but in this case, it'll be primarily Arabs or Muslims who like jewelries or accessories. And when it comes to the targeting, it's going to be men and women between the age of 18 and 45 who fall under the Arab/Muslim category. Now, the strategy is they're going to need to understand their audience needs and wants. So for example, what motivates them to actually want to buy this product? right? Is it a desire? Is it an impulse buy? Maybe they want to have a chain that has their name. Maybe they want to have a chain that has an Islamic writing on it, so on and so forth. Once we understand their audience needs and wants, we go ahead and then craft a compelling video or an image showcasing this product. So you can do this such as UGC, user-generated content, where the user is actually talking about the product and showing the product. You can have a testimonial where someone is, testifying the product and how great it is, or you can have a product review where someone is reviewing the product, how good it is or how bad it is. That's the strategy. So what happens then is the prospect sees the ad and they go ahead and directly make the purchase on the site, and then this right here counts as a conversion. So this is exactly how an e-commerce brand is using social media to generate more sales for their business. Let's take a look at our next client, which is ChampionMethod. And ChampionMethod is an information product. It's a brother named Muhammad Kandil, and this guy helps Muslims get fit both physically and spiritually. So not only does he teach you exactly how to get fit, but mashallah, he's someone that is on his deen, and he always tries to give you that Islamic reminder. And he specifically works with Muslim males. So let's take a look at the audience. The audience is going to be straightforward. It's going to be Muslim male who want to get fit. So when we're targeting, we're going to need to target people who are Muslims, but also are interested in fitness. Because if you're just targeting Muslims in general, not everybody wants to get fit, even though, believe it or not, it's a duty on us to be fit. But in his case, it's going to be Muslims who are also interested in fitness. And when it comes to the strategy, very much like the last examples, we're going to first need to understand the audience needs and wants. For example, what motivates them to want to get fit, and then understanding why is this ChampionMethod program better than the next guy's program. Well, I can tell you right now, in his case, if he's targeting Muslims, why would you not want to join a brother's program who's Muslim versus, John Mark, who's in New York, right? Especially if one, the program is amazing, and then number two, you have that Islamic reminder. So once we understand the audience needs and wants, he then needs to craft a compelling video or an image going over these desires and showcasing his program. Prospect sees an ad, they sign up to the fitness program, and then this go ahead and gets counted as a conversion. So I hope these examples give you guys an idea of how brands, specifically brands that I'm working with, are using social media to actually generate more sales and leads for their business. Now let's go over some misconceptions. You probably are thinking, this is great, but I have these certain questions. And some of these questions could be, why don't businesses do this themselves instead of hiring you or me? And that's a very valid question. This is a question that I had when I was starting out. And I will tell you this, and it's going to be one or more of these three things. Number one is going to be they're too busy running their own business operations that they don't have time to handle their own marketing. Number two, it's going to be the lack of knowledge of how to actually do it effectively. So not only is it going to take them time, but they don't know where to even start with and how to actually do it effectively. And number three is they don't have the right team to actually do this effectively. So this is the biggest misconception that I see people having, which is, why don't they just do it themselves instead of hiring us? Well, it's going to be for either one or all of these three reasons. So now let's talk about the approach of actually starting an SMMA. Okay, so option number one is you can go ahead and watch YouTube videos or buy courses on exactly how to do the service delivery. Because you're probably thinking like, okay, this is great, but I don't even know how to get these guys results. Well, you can go ahead and watch YouTube videos and it'll show you how to get results. You can buy a course on Facebook ads, Google ads, or whatever the case may be. That's option one. Here's option two, which is what I recommend you and what I recommend all of my students. And that is to use what's called the contractor arbitrage strategy. And this strategy is used by Uber, Expedia, Kayak, and so many other companies. And we're going to go ahead and go over this exact strategy in a little bit. Now let's go over option one. And to be quite frank with you, this can take you months, if not years, to master for these very reasons. Number one is you can learn the basics to land a client, but the chances are that you get your client great results significantly goes down. Meaning that you can watch a YouTube video on how to run Facebook ads, Google ads, and all of these, and then you land a client, but the results are not going to be as great because, again, it's going to take you months, if not years, to actually master the service delivery. So then what happens is all the work that you are going to do to land a client will go to waste due to the lack of confidence and conviction that you have in delivering your services. What's going to happen is this is going to leave a bad rep and it's going to waste the prospect's time, and this is going to result in the clients leaving you due to bad results. So that's option one, which is You can watch YouTube videos, you can buy courses on how to deliver the services if you don't know how to do Facebook ads, Google ads, all of these. But again, as you can see here, it's going to take you months, if not years. Here's option 2, which is what I recommend to anyone watching this video. Option 2 is going to be using the contractor arbitrage strategy. And this is a strategy that many companies such as Uber, Expedia, and Kayak use. Let's go ahead and talk about exactly what the contractor arbitrage strategy is. So with contractor arbitrage, if you think about it, Uber doesn't own any cars. What Uber does is it connects the rider to the driver. It connects someone who's looking for a ride to someone who has a car to get them to that point. What they are using is arbitrage. They're basically connecting two people together. Expedia, same thing. Expedia doesn't own any hotels. It doesn't own any airlines. Rather, what Expedia does is it helps people like me and you that are looking for a flight, and it helps connect us with the actual airlines by giving us the best price possible. Same thing with Kayak. Kayak doesn't own any hotels or any airlines. Rather, what they do is they connect people that are looking for flights or hotels to the actual airlines. The same exact concept can be applied here to SMMA. Instead of you spending months, if not years, to understand the actual service delivery, you can go ahead and hire someone who has years of experience, has generated millions of dollars, hire them as your contractor, and what they will do is they will go ahead and deliver the services on your behalf. Just like Uber doesn't own any cars, just like Expedia doesn't own airlines, or just like Kayak doesn't own any airlines or hotels. You would use the same exact strategy, which again, you would be able to implement within 2 to 4 weeks. All you need to do is find the person who actually has experience in this, has delivered great results, and then have them deliver the services while you focus on more important things such as the sales and the operations. Option 2, which is using the contractor arbitrage model, hiring someone who is more experienced than you, has generated millions of dollars to do the service delivery on your behalf. This really can be implemented in about 2 to 4 weeks. It doesn't take long to do because all you have to do is find the individual and then go ahead and hire them to deliver the services for your clients. Now, with this, you're going to be using the same exact business strategies that billion-dollar companies use, just like the Uber example I gave you, the Expedia, the Kayak example. This will also go ahead and ensure that you can generate your clients great results. And that's because your contractor who you're going to hire is going to have years of experience and millions of dollars generated. This will also give you the confidence and the conviction that you need, knowing that you have a team on your side to deliver the services. So when you're taking the sales calls with the clients, do you not think you're going to feel more confident when you know you have a team member that is ready to deliver on these services and that he's done this for X amount of years and has generated millions of dollars? Of course, you're going to have the confidence and the conviction. And lastly, the chances are the clients are going to continue working with you, assuming that you can get them great results. If you can get your clients great results, they're not going to leave you after 30 days, right? That's the whole idea. So this is the way I would recommend approaching SMA. You have option 1 and you have option 2. Now what I want to go ahead and talk about is why this is the best halal online business to start. Just in case some of you guys are thinking that there's another business model better than SMA. You guys have probably seen Amazon FBA, dropshipping, all these different businesses. Well, I want to just take a few minutes and show you why this is the best beginner-friendly model to go ahead and get started. So number 1 is you're going to need a business that has the following. You're going to need a business that's actually halal. With dropshipping, some scholars say it is, some scholars say it's not. The scholars that say it is halal, they say that you need to make sure that the product that you are advertising is exactly the product that's going to be delivered. In other words, you need to buy your product to make sure that it's great. So it kind of falls into the gray line. With SMA, it's 100% halal. It 100% falls within the Islamic guidelines. And the reason that is because you get to choose who you want to work with. You don't have to work with the businesses that sell things that are not right or that have music or anything like that. You get to choose the businesses you want to work with. Number 2, it has high profit margins. Just like the example I gave you guys with my own dropshipping store, I was taking home less than 10%. With this model of starting an SMA, all you really have to do is pay your contractor to deliver the services. Everything is 100% profit outside of maybe a software that you might need for your website or the money that you go ahead and pay your contractor. Number 3 is it's going to cost little to no money to get started. So to get started with SMA, you can get started today. Literally, you can go ahead and start offering businesses these services today. It doesn't require you to go ahead and buy products in bulk like Amazon FBA. It doesn't require you to understand exactly how the markets work to get into crypto. No, you can literally get started as of today, and it costs little to no money to get started, unlike drop shipping, where you have to have money for ad spend, you have to buy the product. Unlike Amazon FBA, where you have to buy things in bulk. Unlike print on demand, unlike crypto, you can get started today with little to no money to get started. Even your contractor who you hire, you will pay them once you actually land a pay-in client. Number 4 is it has an easy learning curve and can be easily outsourced. To be quite frank with you guys, I gave you the examples of how we're running ads for our clients, the targeting and the objective and all that. It's really not complicated. Right? The learning curve is very easy. And on top of that, you can easily outsource it. There's people all across the world living in places like Pakistan, India, Egypt, Turkey, that understand this and have been doing it for years and charge very little compared to that of a first world country. So these are the 4 things that if you are thinking about starting an online business, it needs to have these 4 things. So let's take a look at some of these businesses that you may have heard of or considered. We have dropshipping, print on demand, and Amazon FBA. So with dropshipping, you're essentially buying products from Alibaba or websites like Alibaba, and you're selling them online. Now, again, this is a gray area between halal and haram. Some scholars say it is, some scholars say it's not. Number 2 is the margins are very low, anywhere between 5 to 20%, because you have ad spend, you have COGS, such as cost of goods and services. This is going to be buying the product, the shipping, all of that. So your margins are very low, 5 to 10%, 20%. I personally was taking less than 10% when I was running my dropshipping store. Number 3, it's going to require a minimum of $1,500 in ad spend, and it's going to require finding a winning product, all which you have to spend money on ads to test. So let's say, for example, you're like, I want to go ahead and sell these headphones. Well, guess what? You're going to have to spend money on ads to sell these headphones. And let's say you realize that people don't want this product. Well, now you have to go ahead and find a new product and advertise that. So a minimum of 1.5K, that's assuming that you find a winning product right away on your first try, which is almost impossible. You're going to require ad spend. Okay, for every single product you want to test, it's going to require ad spend, and for any product you want to scale, it's going to require ad spend. This is why dropshipping is not the best beginner-friendly model to start with. Can it work? Absolutely. Is it harder than SMA? Absolutely. Should you do it as a beginner? Absolutely not. At least what I recommend. The next is going to be print on demand. And the idea here is you're going to design t-shirts or mugs or anything and sell them through paid ads. I actually did this myself in 2016 when the presidential election was going on. I realized that there's a lot of memes going around, so I would take Donald Trump memes, put them on t-shirts, and I would sell them, and it was great. But once the election was over, it was not so great. So with print on demand, it depends on trends. Just like the example I gave you, 2016 worked great for me because there was a trend with presidential elections and memes and whatnot. In other words, like, why would people buy the shirt, or why would people buy the mug? Why would people buy a t-shirt of Donald Trump? They would buy it when things are going on, such as the election, so on and so forth. Why would someone buy your mug that has a quote on it, right? You need to have trends. You need to find trends and capitalize on that. At least that's the best way to making the print on demand work. Number 2, it requires a minimum of 1.5K on ads. So again, you could have the best product, but if people don't know about it, then they're not going to buy it. So you need to invest money on ads, and we recommend at least $50 a day, which will be at a 1.5K for the whole month. Number 3 is you need to be well versed in paid ads. You need to know how to run paid ads. And if you don't know how to run paid ads, you're going to come out of pocket and hire someone who knows how to do this. So if you have the money for ads, you have the product, guess what? You got to run the ads. If you don't know how to run the ads, you got to go ahead and pay someone to go ahead and run the ads for you. And number 4, it has low profit margins, anywhere between 10 to 30% after ad spend, after buying the product, after shipping, after paying your media buyer, all of that. So this is print on demand. And again, I don't think it's the best business model to start for all these reasons that I just mentioned. Next is going to be Amazon FBA. And with Amazon FBA, you're essentially buying products in bulk and you're shipping them via Amazon. Now for this one, number 1, it's going to require minimum 20K in capital to buy products in bulk, depending on the cost of the product. So the idea is that you buy the products. Let's say you're selling, for example, a chair, and this chair is going to cost you $20, and you plan on selling it for $60. And let's say you want to buy 200 units. So you're going to do 200 units times $20. And then that's going to be the amount of money that you have to invest to buy the product, to then ship it to the Amazon store, to then hopefully get it sold. So right away, right off the bat, depending on the cost of your product, Amazon FBA is going to cost you thousands of dollars because you need to buy the product in bulk and ship it to Amazon. Reason number 2 is it's going to require you to find products that will actually sell. Okay, you need to make sure that you have products that are actually sell. If you don't have a product that's actually going to sell, you're going to have thousands of dollars in inventory sitting in an Amazon warehouse. So imagine you buy 200 of these chairs and you realize that people don't even want these. And a month has passed and you've only sold 2. Well, guess what? Now you have inventory sitting in an Amazon warehouse that you wasted money on and it's not being sold. This is Amazon FBA, and this is definitely why I wouldn't recommend Amazon FBA for someone who's a complete beginner. Now let's take a look at SMA. So SMA, you're essentially helping brick and mortar businesses or online businesses generate either more sales or leads through social media. So let's take a look at some of the pros. Number one, it costs zero to no money to get started, as we have stated. You can literally start pitching prospects today. You can hire a contractor and pay the contractor once you actually get a closing client. So literally you can start with $0. Because you start pitching prospects, a client agrees with you to work with you, they pay you, let's say, $2,000. You then take $300, pay your contractor, and he gets started on the work. So it costs little to no money to get started, number one. Number two is it has high profit margins, anywhere between 15 and 90%. For the example that I just gave you right now, if you're pitching prospects, and let's say you have a media buyer that charges you $300 and you're charging the prospects $2,000, that is very high profit margins. Now, granted, you're still going to have some charges like your website, maybe you need a certain software, so on and so forth. But nonetheless, the profit margins are anywhere between 50 to 90%. I can tell you right now, our profit margins are always around 80 to 85% at my agency. And that's because we pay our team and that's it. We pay for the software that we have going on and everything else is profit. Because it's a service-based business. We don't have no inventory to buy. We don't need to spend money on ads because we have the clients. All we have to do is spend money on our team and spend money on whatever softwares that we are using. So again, number two has high profit margins. Number three is it can be easily outsourced. If you start an agency right now and you're offering, let's say, Facebook ads or Google ads, it's so easy to find someone who's well experienced in this and outsource it to them. That's number three. And number four, it's actually halal. It actually falls within the Islamic guidelines because you get to choose exactly who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. So I'll give you guys an example. We had a brand that was referred to us, and this brand sells lingeries and bikinis. And this brand, we were going to make anywhere between 10 to 20 grand a month from, because the way we charge at our agency is we charge a flat fee plus a percentage of revenue. And this brand was doing $250,000 a month just from Facebook ads. So if we took over their account and we ran those ads and we got 10% of that, that would be anywhere between 15 to 20K. Okay. And we had to reject them, even though there was so much money to be made from them every single month. We had to reject working with them for the very reason that they are selling bikinis and lingeries. And as a Muslim, it's not permissible for me to go ahead and advertise this because we're going to need to use images of females wearing this in order to show the product to the people. So we had to reject them. And although it was a lot of money that we rejected, we get to choose at the end of the day if we want to work with a brand or not, versus the other way around. So this is what we mean by number four. And these 4 reasons are the 4 reasons SMA is the best model and why all the other models that I just mentioned are not the best. So now I've given you guys so much information, okay? Let's go ahead and talk about how you can get started today. You understand the basics. How can you get started today? Well, you have option 1, which is you can go ahead and buy an SMMA course. Go ahead and buy a course that basically goes over what I went over here in this video in detail. And you probably have seen gurus like Iman Gaji selling courses on this topic. I've been through all of Iman's programs. I think, the programs are great. But to be honest with you, if you are thinking about buying a course, literally there's so much information available for free on YouTube. So before you make an investment and buy a course, check out the stuff on YouTube. And my channel is a good place to start too. We have a 4.5-hour video that breaks down exactly how to start in SMMA. But that's the first option, is you can go ahead and buy a course. Now, the issue that you're going to face, regardless if you buy a course or if you watch all the YouTube videos in the world, the issue you're going to face is that you will still be left with only information, which is essentially pointless if you don't put it into action. So option 1, you can buy a course or you can watch free stuff on YouTube, but the problem is you're still going to have a bunch of questions that are not answered in the video because everybody is going to be different. You guys are all in different parts of the world watching this video. You're going to be working with different niches. Everyone is going to have questions specific to them that are not covered in a general course or on YouTube videos. That's option 1, buy a course or watch YouTube videos. Option 2, what you can do is join a mentorship program. This is what I recommend anyone who's thinking about getting started with this do. Now, with a mentorship program, you're going to learn directly from someone who has done this and can help you avoid trials and error. For example, myself, I've been doing this now for 6 years. I've went through so many trials and errors, and the students that I have, the students that I consult on this, it's a shortcut for them because they get to avoid all these trials and errors. So they get to avoid years of trial and errors by learning from someone who has already been there and has faced these challenges and can convey that message to them so that they don't face those same issues. Number two, it's going to provide you with implementation and not just information. So when you join a mentorship program, whether it's ours or anybody else's program, what you get with a mentorship program is you get implementation. In other words, we're not going to tell you, here's how you find a client, here's how you make a hire, here's how you run Facebook ads. Instead, we're going to implement this with you within your business, within your agency. This is the beauty of joining a mentorship program versus a course. Now, I do want to say that beware, not all mentorship programs offer this. There's a lot of mentorship programs that masquerade as mentorship, but in reality, they're just another course. And the last point is it's going to provide you with someone who can act as counsel, helping you with any questions you may have along the way. So when you join a mentorship program, you're going to have counsel. You're going to have someone who's going to be there to answer any questions you may have, to hold your hand, take you from step A to step B, and everything in between. Now, regardless of which route you take, whether you decide to go ahead and buy a course, watch YouTube videos, or join a mentorship program, there are three things that's required to succeed with SMMA. If you don't have these three things, you're going to fail, and how well you do these three things will dictate, one, how much money you make, but then two, how successful you become. And what are these three things? The first is going to be the offer. And with the offer, you're essentially finding service market fit. The idea here is to identify what the marketplace actually needs. The idea here is to identify what the marketplace actually needs. In other words, the prospects, the people that you are looking to help, what do they actually need? You need to understand who you're helping and how you'll help them, plus what are the problems and the bottlenecks and the inefficiencies that they are facing within their business. That's the first thing, is you need to find service market fit. And to do that, you're going to go ahead and understand and identify exactly what are the problems and the bottlenecks that these prospects have. Number two is going to be service delivery. And the idea here is that you need to go ahead and ensure that you can generate your clients great results, because that is exactly why they are paying you. If you can't deliver on your promise, then clients are going to leave you within 30 days of working together. And in order to master service delivery, like let's say paid ads, you need to spend hours and hours on training, which will take you months, if not years. Now, you can go ahead and shorten this time frame by using the contractor arbitrage model, which is exactly what we talked about in the last few slides. So number two on the things that you need to succeed with SMA is going to be service delivery, and the idea here is to ensure that you can deliver great results for your clients. The next thing is going to be client acquisition, and this is going to be a system that books meetings consistently and predictably. And the idea here is that you could literally have the best offer in the world, and you can have the best service delivery team, but if you can't book meetings with your ICP, your ideal customer profile, to sell them your services, then you won't make any money. If people don't know about you and what you have to offer, then it's hard for them to pay you because they literally don't even know who you are. And unfortunately, every single course that I've enrolled in shows you how to get clients, but never how to actually implement this within your agency. All the courses that I've been through, they're going to say, here's how you do a Loom video, here's how you do paid ads, here's how you do outreach, here's how you do this. But none of them actually provide you with the implementation of these systems within your agency. So now to recap on these three things that are required to succeed with SMA, number one is an offer that the marketplace actually needs. Number two is going to be an experienced team to deliver the services on your behalf. And number three, it's going to be a way to book meetings consistently and predictably. Now, let's say you set these up. Well, you got there 50% of the battle. But after you set these up, it's going to be inevitable that you're going to need someone to act as counsel, someone to help you specifically based on the questions you're facing throughout this journey. So we've covered so much so far. How many of you guys feel like this guy? How many of you guys feel like you gotten clarity on exactly what this business model is and exactly how you can go ahead and get started with it today? Well, remember the promise that I made you at the beginning of this video, which is if you are interested and still need more help, how you and I can go ahead and work together. Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about in this quick 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and show you how you and I can work one-on-one and implement everything that I mentioned here within your business. So when you decide to click the button below and book a demo call to join my consulting program where I work with you one-on-one, here's what that would look like. So after we get on a call and we realize that you're a good fit and that you're serious about making this work, we're going to have our first call. And on this call, we're going to go ahead and identify your niche and solve for service market fit. Meaning by the time you get off this call, you're going to know exactly who you are going to work with, what is the niche, and you're going to know exactly what you're going to provide them and how you're going to provide it to them. You're going to identify the niche and solve for service market fit. Call number two, 2 is we're going to go ahead and assign your service delivery team. So let's say you are like, you know what, I want to work with dentists. Okay, I want to work with dentists. Well, great. You're going to go ahead and offer them Facebook ads and CRM management. You're going to need a team now to actually go ahead and do this, because you don't know how to do Facebook ads and you probably don't know how to build a CRM. And even if you did, you shouldn't be doing this yourself. You need to have a team so you can delegate it to them and free up your time to focus on more important things. Well, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and assign a service delivery team to go ahead and deliver on these services for you, rather than you having to go doing the hiring and figuring out exactly where to hire. That's what we'll do in call number 2. We're going to go ahead and assign your service delivery team to deliver on the services. So now you're going to have a great offer. Number 2, you're going to have a team ready to deliver on the services. Our third call is going to be to build out your client acquisition system. Now over here, we can implement up to 6 client acquisition systems within your agency. Depending on your niche, depending on if you're time rich, cash poor, or cash poor, time rich, there's going to be different systems that work best based on those specific scenarios. So now you have an offer that the marketplace actually needs. You have a team ready to deliver your services, and you have multiple client acquisition systems that are booking you meeting consistently. Well, what happens next is we have another call, and on this call, we're going to go ahead and review everything that we covered over the last 2 weeks, and then go ahead and launch. Now you're probably thinking, well, great, if I have a service delivery team that's doing this and I have a system that's booking me meetings, what am I doing? Well, what you're doing, you're taking care of sales and operations, which to be honest is a full-time job within itself. And while you're taking care of sales and operations, you're going to have a bunch of questions. You're going to have a lot of challenges that you're face, a lot of bottlenecks, because business is never a straight line. Well, guess what? This is where we come in and give you ongoing counsel. Whether you need to get on a call with me one-on-one in Zoom, whether you have a quick question that you need an answer to, whether it's the 2 Q&A training calls that we have every single week, you will have myself by your side helping you step by step, holding your hand throughout this whole journey. And this ongoing counsel is going to go ahead and give you instant feedback loop, meaning you will always understand and know exactly what you need to do. You're always going to know your next move because you have someone there who's acting as counsel. So this is what it would look like if you and I were to work together. If you were to decide to click the button below and schedule a demo call to see exactly how this would look like in detail. Now I want to go ahead and break down each point to show you how I can personally help you make this a reality like I have for myself over the last 6 years. For the offer, number 1 is we're going to go ahead and meet over Zoom. And the objective of this is to understand the following. The objective of this is to identify the niche that you want to work with. Now, there's the niche and then there's sub niche. So for example, let's say you do dental. Well, guess what? There's general dentists, there's orthodontists. So we're going to identify the exact niche and the exact sub niche. We'll talk about the pros and the cons of each one. Number 2, you're going to understand what are the dynamics of this niche, what is the TAM, total addressable market, and what is the level of complexity. Because not every niche is created equally. Depending on the niche that you are working, you need to understand what is the total number of people within this niche, and then what is the level of complexity. Number 3 is how you are going to help the sub niche. In other words, what services are you going to offer them? Number 4 is how you will communicate this offer to the marketplace. So by the end of this call, where we're talking about your offer, you're going to have clarity on exactly who you will work with, the problems they are facing, and exactly how you'll be able to go ahead and help them. That is the first call where we break down the offer. The next call will be going over service delivery, and having a solid team that has experience on how to actually ensure great results is going to be one of the most important things that you can go ahead and implement in your agency. Now, unlike all the SMA courses out there, we don't just tell you where to hire your service delivery team. Instead, we actually find, vet, and place these talent within your agency thanks to our talent acquisition program. So we'll actually find these people, give you multiple options for you to choose from, and you choose someone who you think would be best given that they're going to be a contractor within your agency. Now, whether you need a media buyer to run your ads, a video editor and graphic designers to do creatives, a go high-level specialist, a sales rep, whatever kind of talent you need, we will go ahead and find and place the best of the best talent within your agency. And the objective here is to have a team who will give you the confidence and the conviction that you can deliver on your promise. You got these clients to pay you money. Now you need to go ahead and ensure great results. And that's the objective of the service delivery and having the right team in place. The third thing we'll cover is client acquisition. And every single course that I've taken simply just provides me with more information on how to find clients, whether that's Instagram DMs, whether that's cold calling, whether that's Loom outreach, whether that's paid ads. And I realized that All of this information, honestly, is readily available for free on YouTube, and it's not what people are lacking. You see, what most people lack is actually implementation of these systems. This is why at Agency Protocols, we implement up to 6 client acquisition systems within your agency. Depending on your niche and depending on how much capital you have to invest, we implement the proper systems within your agency that will book you meetings consistently and predictably. All of this is done with you so that you never have to worry about how you're going to land your next client. Now, let's take a look at some of these client acquisition systems that we go ahead and place in your agency. Number one is going to be paid ads, and these are going to be curated paid ads tailored for your ICP, your ideal customer profile. And this works virtually for any type of agency. Any type of agency that you have, this would work great for it. What we'll do is we'll hire a trained media buyer and we'll have them run and manage these ads on your behalf. The next client acquisition is going to be email outreach. And over here, you can do anywhere between 500 all the way to 1,500 emails a day. And this is going to work great for most niches. Not all, but most niches could actually leverage email outreach. What we'll do here is we'll go ahead and implement and assign an executive assistant who will not only do the outreach on your behalf, but will also manage your inbox with the objective of getting people to go ahead and book the call on your calendar. The next is cold calling, and here we recommend minimum 50 a day. This is going to work great if you're working with local businesses. Let's say you're working with dentists or restaurants or chiropractors, any business that is expecting their clients to call them on the phone. Cold calling works great for. And what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and hire and place trained callers for your agency, whether that's for your agency or for your clients. So for example, we have some students that offer to qualify the leads for their clients. And instead of the agency doing that themselves, they go ahead and come to us and we hire someone to go ahead and verify these leads for their clients. So that's cold calling. The next is going to be LinkedIn. Now LinkedIn, you can do anywhere between 10 to 50 connection requests per day. Now this works great if your prospects are professionals like lawyers and CEOs that actually need a LinkedIn profile. And what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and implement and assign an executive assistant to do the outreach on LinkedIn on your behalf. Next, you have Facebook and Instagram DMs. And over here, you can do a minimum 50 per day. This works great if your audience is active on Instagram. For example, if you're working with e-commerce brands, one of the first things they do is actually create an Instagram account and are very active on there. And what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and place a trained $3 an hour VA to do this outreach on your behalf. This VA will be trained on exactly how to do the outreach. They'll have access to the system and they'll go ahead and do the outreach on your behalf. And lastly, you have communities. Now, how much you can do here is going to be limited to the platform. This works great if your niches is ideally customers who are part of a community. So for example, like myself, I work with agency owners who want to scale, or people like yourself who want to start their own agency. And there are many groups of agency owners that are looking to scale. So for me, this would be a good client acquisition system. But if you're working with, let's say, local businesses, maybe not so much. Either way, here what we'll do is we'll go ahead and hire a trained $3 an hour VA to do the outreach on your behalf. So that is the 6 client acquisition systems that we can go ahead and implement today within your agency, should you decide to work with us and if you are a good fit. And lastly, counsel. So aside from implementing these 3 things that are required for you to succeed with SMA, imagine having someone by your side who can get on a call with you whenever you need to help you answer any questions that you may have along the way. This is what I mean by counsel. You will have myself there to hold your hand along the way in the form of Zoom meetings, Slack support if you have those quick questions, and then within our community on School. Now with this setup, success is inevitable. The only way that you can truly fail is if you don't follow protocol or if you give up too early. No program that I've been in, even the ones that I paid thousands of dollars for, gives you this level of one-on-one. If you find something that does, I would be shocked and I would love for you to let me know. Now, here are some honorable mentions. Aside from everything that I've mentioned in the past slides, when you join Agency Protocols, you also get the help and the support that is required to actually scale your business to $50,000 a month. For example, we have sales training. Having taken myself over 1,000 sales calls at this point, I would say I know a thing or two when it comes to sales. So as a partner at Agency Protocols, when you join, you will record all your sales calls, which I will personally sit down with you and audit. We're going to identify exactly what you did good, what you did bad, what could be better, so on and so forth. And this right here will allow you to get 1% better every single day. So sales training, that's the first honorable mention. The next honorable mention is the weekly Q&A calls. So every week I host 2 calls within the group, and the objective of these calls is to help answer any questions that our partners have. Being on these calls alone will provide you with answers to insights that you might not even been thinking of. So even if you don't have a question, if everything is running smooth for you, I would still recommend that you join these calls because you'll still get value from other people asking other questions. The next honorable mention is going to be School community. There's a quote that goes, "You are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around." And this quote is very true. For this reason, we create created an exclusive community in school, which is going to host all members. Everybody that joins agency protocols, they're going to get access to this community. The objective of this community is to cultivate an environment of entrepreneurs, all who have the same goal and aspirations. Imagine a community of entrepreneurs, all Muslim entrepreneurs, with the objective of building a halal online business, in this case, specifically a marketing agency. Well, that's what you will have here with the school community. And if you think about it, you probably have people around you that are not entrepreneurs, or people who are around you who are not even thinking the way that you're thinking sitting here watching this video. Well, you'll have that within the school community because you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. There's a saying that we used to say in Yemen, and it basically says, tell me who your friend is and I will tell you who you are, which is very true. If you're hanging around people who are just talking about girls or just talking about things that don't benefit them, then most likely the opportunities that are going to present you are things that don't benefit you. But if you're around people who are entrepreneurs, who are trying to make more money, to take care of themselves, to take care of their family, to have the freedom of choice, then you most likely will start seeing those other opportunities. And lastly, general course. What most SMA gurus provide you is simply a course, okay? And aside from everything that I have mentioned so far, you're going to get access to a detailed course covering everything that you need to know about starting and scaling your SMA. Now, to be honest, you don't even need to watch this course, and you probably don't even need it because we're going to be working one-on-one and help you implement all of this within your agency. But you get the luxury of having it should you decide to watch it. And this little piece right here is literally what gurus are charging thousands of dollars for. You're going to get it absolutely free should you decide to watch it, which quite frankly, you probably don't even need to watch it because you're going to be working with me one-on-one. So now that I've given you an example of exactly what you and I working together would look like, there are only 3 things that you can go ahead and do after this video. Number 1, you can go ahead and disregard this video and go back to your normal life. Maybe you might buy a course on this topic or watch some YouTube videos, and if you're lucky to stick it out for 6-12 months, you might land a client or 2. That's the first option that you can do. Option number 2 is you can simply just go ahead and book a call with myself, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and dive into our Done With You consulting program in detail. I'll show you how we can go ahead and implement everything mentioned here within 2 to 4 weeks, and how I can act as your personal mentor who will hold your hand and help you every single step of the way. And if you think about it, if you take option 2, worst case scenario, we get on a call for 30 minutes, you get to know me, you get to ask me any questions you may have, you realize that it's not a good fit for you, and then that's it. There's no hard feelings. Now again, on this call, I will give you a demo of the program and go over it in detail and exactly what it entails. And if you're a good fit, awesome, great. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and explain to you the next step actions and how we can get started the same day. And if you're not a good fit, that's totally fine. There's no hard feelings. Again, you can think of it as a 30-minute conversation between 2 brothers, and I promise I'll go ahead and point you in the right direction depending on exactly what it is that you need to do. So again, if you're a Muslim who wants to have location freedom and you want to build a sustainable halal online business that can generate you thousands of dollars every single month, click the button below, schedule a free demo call with myself, and inshallah ta'ala, I look forward to seeing you on the call.